country. He's calling it phase 4. So is this what America needs right now? Joining me to discuss, Young Americans for Liberty analyst, author, Kristin Tate. Kristin, it's maybe a rhetorical question to ask you this, because I saw after phase 3, you went nuts on Twitter saying no bailouts, no bailouts, no bailouts. But people have said we need an infrastructure fix for a long time.
Well, you know, an infrastructure bill would just be more government spending. Both sides would probably portray it as a big win. But Charles, I was so disappointed with the stimulus bill that was just passed. It's obvious that our country needs bold action and strong leadership to get us through this pandemic. But politicians on both sides of the aisle used the panic surrounding coronavirus to inject political pet projects and earmarks into the stimulus bill. Taxpayers are furious. They want to know how millions of dollars in funding for NPR, PBS, refugee resettlement, sunscreen labeling, casinos, travel agents, and all the rest, what that has to do with coronavirus relief. The obvious answer is nothing. But all of these items were discreetly slipped into the bill, which was 880 pages, passed in a hurry, sold to taxpayers as being essential. It is disgraceful. It should be a national scandal, and it's really a shame.
Well, there were some lawmakers that were offended, including Republican Congressman Thomas Massie of Kentucky. In fact, he's still fuming over the last package that was just passed. He told me yesterday that Washington, though, is doing much more for big business in Wall Street. Take a listen to this.
More Republicans need to be a dangerous nuisance to Nancy Pelosi's agenda, because I'm telling you, if you listen to their debate Friday, they got up there and said this is just a down payment, and Nancy Pelosi saying that too. And I'll be voting no on the next bill.
So, Kristin, it's one thing to be upset about the Kennedy Center and some of these million-dollar projects that you talked about. What he's saying is that really folks should be focused on the fact that over $2 trillion is being distributed, and most of it is going to Wall Street fat cats.
That's exactly right. Thomas Massie was the only one in Washington, D.C. with the courage to speak up for that point. The bill was rife with crony capitalism, and the fine print of this bill gives us some really valuable insight as to how Washington, D.C. actually works. This was the biggest spending bill in U.S. history, and a large part of this bill was dedicated to including items that were left out of the continuing resolution a few months back. This is how D.C. works. We are $23 trillion in debt and counting, and it's future generations that are going to bear the burden of that debt.
Well, I hate to break it to you, but phase 4 is really going to break the bank. Kristin, always appreciate your thoughts. See you soon. Coming up, folks, our special thanks to you.